Hi, this is Rosalyn with Community of Unity, and we're here today. This is Rosalyn with Orlando from the William Carr Gallery in beautiful Las Vegas. I was just there for a beautiful event and was just so fascinated with the artwork there. I decided to bring the curator here so he could tell me all about the museum. So, Orlando, have you been working with the museum for a long time?
Well, with William Carr for 8 years.
Wow. And were you working with some other artists before that?
Very little, to be honest. I did more of the wholesale part of the art, so not really. No,
What
I'm
drew
I'm
you
very
to
new to the art.
what drew you to this particular position?
William and I are good friends, and we started off as friends. And when I saw his actual work, I was extremely impressed. And then the rest is history. Actually, just to fast forward, here I am
Wow.
today.
And here we are today. Now, I noticed when I was reading the biography last night that he was a self-trained artist. And
Yes.
how old was he when he first started doing his artwork?
Well, just before that, just so you have an idea, he's also a self-taught guitarist.
Oh, wow.
He played in a professional band back in the day, early on, and then he started photographing with a little camera in Lake Tahoe.
Uh-huh.
He photographed skiers that had a lot of color with a white background, and then he started doing landscape. People started complimenting his work, and eventually he turned it into his life's work. And he's been traveling the world now for over 40 years, and obviously you can see his work.
Oh, wow. We lost you for a second here, but I know it's just momentary. You're putting out a great picture in the background there for me. There we are. You're very beautiful. Don't know what happened there, but you went white for a second. So he's been traveling for 40 years and things like that. Does he work is he commissioned, or he just gets to paint what he wants and he goes wherever he wants?
We currently have a couple of commissions that we're looking at, but no, he finds these locations himself. He lived near Zion National Park in Utah for 27 years and did a lot of hiking there quite a
Hmm.
few years ago. So we have a lot of Utah. He loves Italy. There's lots of, if you notice while you were here in the event, there's quite a few images of Italy.
Oh yes, it's beautiful. It's a place that's near and dear to my heart here.
Oh, why
Um,
is that?
um, I just I remember one day I was in Spain and
Mhm.
I complimented a lady on her scarf, and she just said, "You must be American. You must be American because only Americans offer these sort of compliments." Um, and I think she said something about Italy. And I had a book that I had written, my very first book. It was called Random Acts of Kindness Are Changing the World. And I wanted more than anything to be an international speaker. So I put out this request to see who I could get to get me a bookstore in Italy. And there's an American English bookstore that's on the really close to the steps, the famous steps there. And there's my book, and it was my husband, a letter carrier, who went to one of his customers who had a relative who was out there. So I got to do my book signing in Italy, and
Wow,
I
wonderful.
just it was just beautiful. It was incredible. I loved the ice cream and the whole the whole just culture. You just feel like it's a natural, a feel good place.
I
Just walking
completely
around.
agree.
There's no place in the world that you can walk in the streets and feel you don't have to so much look around your back or your shoulder or wonder who's gonna, you know, in the rest of the world. It's just
Right.
a really nice place, and it just has a simple feeling and things like that. So that is just amazing. Now, were his parents involved in the art world at all, or?
Not well. His father actually was. His father was. He was a writer and composer, and he did these things silently on his own. Never really went public with anything, but or anything large that I can remember. But yeah, it comes from his father.
No, that's really interesting because I don't know where my creative talents, because my father was an accountant, my mother was a housewife, but I love photography, I love writing, um, speaking, and things like that. And I think in my I guess my aunt was a broadcaster back in New Jersey. But back to what we were talking about. His art is just absolutely spectacular, and I was wondering, there's a bunch of different organizations that he sponsors with his art, from the Boys Club to the homeless to the Sierra Club to all sorts of other organizations. Are those just projects that are near and dear to his heart, or is there someone who just kind of reviews them, or how did?
Basically what that is we both get involved with those programs. I have sat on the committee for St. Jude Children's Hospital for 4 years, and volunteered at the Cleveland Clinic, Lou Ruvo Center. So a lot of those are passionate to me and to him as well. He's a giving person, and so that's important.